All right, welcome back to another episode of the 3D Gen podcast. Coming off of our first time doing our top five plays, Jack actually did pretty well in the college football. Me and Grayson struggled a little bit. NFL, on the other hand, was not great for any of us. I think we were all in the red last week in the NFL, but we're looking to bounce back. Five best plays. Let's start us off, Jack. What's your fifth best play this week in college football?
My fifth best play. So this week, I don't think I would have the same success of going 4-1, and should have gone 5-0 if Texas remember how to play football in the first half. But that's okay. Neither here nor there. My fifth best play this week is I'm going to take Ole Miss +7 against Alabama.
Okay.
I just think Alabama's offense is just so one-dimensional now that Milroe is now the pronounced starter. And I think Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, he's under that Saban tree. I think he knows how to beat Saban. It's in Tuscaloosa, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But I just think Jackson Dart and Quinshon Judkins is just a lot on offense, and Alan Kidd, Jalen Milroe, and Jace McCullough is just not enough. I think Ole Miss can outscore this team. We saw Texas do it, and we saw Alabama struggle against
USF.
Yeah, granted they were trialing quarterbacks, but I just think this Bama team's nowhere near as good as you are in year in year out. And so I'm taking Ole Miss to cover the spread with a touchdown spread. Go big, go home.
I like that. What's y'all's opinion on that quarterback situation? I've heard things like on my daily drive, listening to college football radio, listen to Dusty and Dan Cannell. Is that his last name?
Danny Cannell.
Yeah, and they were talking about they think that he may have gotten just suspended, essentially, just maybe got in trouble in practice or something. But I've also heard that they were possibly they knew they were going to win that game, so they were just trying the other two quarterbacks out just to see what they had. I think Milroe's got to be the starter though. Way better than Buckner, or however you say his name. And then Ty Simpson a year away.
I think all I heard is, since they do have Tommy Rees as the OC, and Tommy Rees was Buckner's OC at Notre Dame, is that Rees was like, "Hey, put my boy in, let me see what he got," and Saban was like, "All right, bet," and then Saban was like, "All right, bet, he blows."
Yeah.
So we're going back to Milroe.
So
I think, like you said, I think Milroe is the best quarterback on that team, but he's still far away from the Bryce Youngs and Tuas and Mac Jones they had previously.
Yeah, on top of that, Lane Kiffin started stirring up some shit with them, saying that was not. What's their defensive coordinator's name? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. Whatever their defense coordinator is, saying that that's not his defense. Like, he worked with them, he knows his defense, and it doesn't look like it. So in an interview, and then he doubled down on it, saying that it was the DB coaches controlling the defensive schemes and stuff. So trying to start some shit in the Alabama locker room, maybe a little internal conflict there. So I like the play. Well, you like that one, Grayson, or?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and get it out of the way. It's going to be my fourth play, but I've got Alabama covering the 7. I think for especially the reasons you just mentioned off the field. Take a moment, reflect. What is Lane Kiffin's best win in his entire life? Exactly. So, he talks a hell of a lot. We found out he's a mental health champion as well recently, talking about leaks and things. So I just think that similar to Florida getting up after a bad loss to Utah and whooping up on Tennessee, which every team in the SEC East does typically, but similar effect to the guys getting up for Napier. I think if this team wants Nick Saban to not retire by Halloween, I think they're going to have to get up and play. Weird quarterback stuff. You mentioned them cycling between Sims and Buckner, and Milroe. Milroe is clearly the better of the three. He can't really put consecutive drives or quarters or halves together that would really cement him as a starting guy, but Saban came out today and said he is the guy, so hopefully that injection of confidence is just enough. I think that Ole Miss has athletes, Jack mentioned on offense, Dart, Judkins, but again, I think this is one of those games where we all kind of get a little too comfortable being on the other side of Saban, and I just can't put myself there. So I don't think it's going to be 40. It won't be running away or anything, but I think somewhere in that 10 to 13 point range at home is doable. And I'll take Saban. I never want to have a bet against Saban if I can help it. I took the under last week as a bit of a fade against this Alabama team, and that under got there by 40 points. So I don't expect similar comfort in this one, but I'll take Bama at home really just to get off the mat. And I mean, 2 Bama home losses in September just does not compute in my brain. So that's not the most hard-hitting analysis necessarily. But, yeah, I've got the Tide barely getting over that touchdown spread.
Yeah, I feel that. So my 5th play, I'm going to start us off hot with a 3-leg parlay. So I got Arizona, Louisville, and Texas Tech money line. I wanted to just go Texas Tech -5.5, but I was like, WVU likes to keep games close. But in the Neil Brown era, we are, I think, 0-4, maybe 0-5. I think 0-5 actually against Texas Tech. I don't think we win this year, especially with Garrett Green being out. I think Louisville rolls in their game, and then Arizona versus Stanford. I'm pretty sure they're double-digit favorites or close to it. So just putting the Arizona and Louisville basically with Texas Tech just to get it, it's at plus 105. So that's my 5th play. There's not really an analysis there. It's more so just adding a couple of games to Texas Tech because I do think they probably cover the 5.5, but that's such a weird number that I didn't want to touch it. And with the way that West Virginia's offense is, we want to run the ball. We want to slow it down. So it's possible that this could be a closer game. So I'm just going to go with a 3-leg parlay for my 5th play. Grayson, since you kind of started us with your 4th play there with Alabama, what's your 5th play of the week?
My 5th play is going to be a weekly tradition throwaway bet because it worked last week. Give me Colorado plus 21. I hope I'm wrong again. I hope they're 20 points off the spread again. I hope Bo Nix destroys them to the point where Dion discontinues the shades. The fact that those are $70 is hilarious. The fact that they almost had Lil Wayne walk them out to a loss against Colorado fucking State is even funnier. This team, especially sans Travis Hunter, has no chance this week and no chance next week. I wouldn't take plus 40 aggregate with this Colorado team. I don't think they have the guys up front. And if you're letting Colorado State chase around your actually very good quarterback in Shedeur Sanders, I don't know what you think Oregon's going to do, but it's only going to be worse. I mean, Dion's got a lot of skill talent in Bowler, but he just doesn't have the bodies up front on either side of the ball. And as they get into teams like Oregon who do have defenses, it's going to be that much tougher. Honestly, I was surprised to see the spread open at 3 touchdowns. I expected it to be about 2. I think it opened at 17.5, and then, people with several brain cells at their disposal all hammered Oregon, which, I mean, I don't blame them. But for the sake of, I was 0-2 on Colorado, and I'm 1-0 in fading them only by taking them. I will take Colorado, and I hope they lose by 70.
I actually have a play on this game, but I mean, I agree. Without Travis Hunter, I just don't see them winning this game. I hate 3-point spread, 3 touchdown spreads, especially Colorado's so talented on offense. It feels like they could easily backdoor cover in a late game, and they're getting another running back coming in. I think he was out with injury. I don't remember his name actually. I saw that. Do you guys know the Rico Nose guy on TikTok?
All that matters is Edwards is the best running back they have.
Yeah, but
yeah,
I have a play on that. Jack, what's your 4th play for the slate?
Well, I do have a play on the Colorado-Oregon game.
Okay.
I guess I'll just make it my 4th play. Screw it. I mean, I almost pulled a Grayson, and I was actually going to take Oregon to cover the spread. And then I was like, no, because Grayson was over 2. I ain't doing that. So then I was going to take Colorado plus 21. And I was like, no, I'm going to go the safe route, and I'm going to go the over 70.5. So, yes, I mean, I think regardless, Travis Hunter or not, I don't think Colorado wins this game. I think 3 touchdowns is a huge margin of gap to win for a ranked team, regardless of how we think Oregon probably is that much better than Colorado. I mean, Oregon has looked decent this year. I mean, they haven't really played anybody. I mean, they washed Hawaii and Portland State, and then they won the thriller against Texas Tech, which I don't think Texas Tech is great. But they gave up 30 to Texas Tech, which is kind of alarming. I mean, that Oregon defense should be better than that. I think Colorado's offense is better than Texas Tech's offense. So I'm taking the over 70. I think it could be like a 42-35, 42-28, something close to that number. And I'm more happy taking the over 70.5 than I am taking either Colorado or Oregon at the 21 mark.
Well, since we're all touching this game, I'll just make it my fourth play. I'm actually taking the under in this game. So me and Jack are going, and I hate it. I don't want to take the under. They're two high-power offenses, but I took the Alabama under because of a trend. Alabama after losses was 14-0 to the under. In the college football this year, with the new rules where the clock doesn't stop after first downs except for the last 2 minutes of whatever. The under, anything under a total of 66 or over is a 11-2 this year. So 11 out of 13 games with a total above 66 has went under. So I'm just kind of following a trend, really. I don't necessarily love the play, so I'm actually fine making it my fourth play. I probably could have made it my fifth, really, but also don't want to put a three-leg parlay in front of a solo play. So I guess me and Jack are going to be opposite here, and I'm going to root against points and not have fun, and Jack's going to root for points and have fun. So there we go on that.
You're going to land on 70 for sure.
Yep, probably.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm going to be fucking pissed.
All right, Grayson, start us off on the third play.
My third play is going to be a first half bet in the SEC. It is LSU minus 9.5 against Arkansas. If you remove the second half from the equation, this LSU team is honestly a top 5 team in this country and is being talked about a lot more than they are. But they got essentially dominated by Florida State in the second half on a national stage in the opener. So that's why they sit where they are in the polls, and the general discourse around the SEC, as wide open as it is, and the playoff in general, even as we're barely even getting in October. I think that they can do enough. I'm a little worried about Arkansas trying to play for Sam Pittman's job at the very end when they're down, 4 or 5 points above the spread. They have a chance to punch it in the end zone with a minute and a half left, or everybody's filing out of the stadium. So this LSU team hasn't had a lot of flaws in the first half. We saw it last week. I was actually personally fading them. I took the points Mississippi State. That game was over by 10 minutes in. So if they can get a similar start early, some momentum, I think they can control another game against a lesser conference opponent.
Yeah, and I mean, Arkansas did not look very good last week versus BYU.
They lost, yeah.
Yeah, they haven't looked good all year. I mean, you would think with KJ Jefferson, they'd be a little more explosive, but they just don't have it this year yet. So I like that play. Well, you got Jack for your third play of the slate.
My third play, going another ranked game. By what College Game Day is heading, going to South Bend. I'm taking Notre Dame +3. I think this is arguably one of the best Notre Dame teams we've seen in recent years. They have the best quarterback they've had in years in Sam Hartman. He's having a Heisman-like run so far. I think him and Audric Estime are one of the best running back quarterback duos in the country. This is obviously, the history of Notre Dame doesn't play well in big games. Well, this is Marcus Freeman's time to change that. And it's a good Ohio State team to change that with, because I don't think Kyle McCord is as good as previous Ohio State quarterbacks. I mean, obviously you have to worry about all their 5-star receivers they have in that room. But I think with Marcus Freeman being defensive minded, I think he can scheme something up this week. I think, and it being in South Bend, and it being South Bend being a tough place to play for any opponent, I think this is a great chance for Notre Dame to shock the world on national television, and they're going to cover my spread.
I don't hate it. I mean, Ohio State definitely doesn't look great, but it's also hard to bet against Ohio State anytime. I don't hate that play though. I like Notre Dame, especially with Sam Hartman. Do you have any opinion on that, Grayson, or do you have a play on it later or anything?
I'm going to save it because it's my top play.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, we will not be on the opposite side of that one.
Okay. That's fair. So moving into my third play of the slate, this is more of just like a fade of Cam Rising coming back. He should be coming back. I'm taking UCLA plus 3.5 first half. I don't hate the full game, but I don't love the full game either. I think Cam Rising is just going to take a little bit of time to get back into the swing of things. I mean, their offense is not great right now without him. So even if he doesn't play, I love it even more. This is also probably a game that you could wait and get a better number when Cam Rising does get officially called in, if he does. But it's more so, I mean, I think Chip Kelly, they come in with a good run game. Morse, I think is his name, the quarterback, freshman. I mean, he's pretty good, especially for a freshman. And I think that they have enough firepower to kind of stick with them in the first half, if not win the first half outright. Full game, who knows, especially being in Utah. But this is more so just fading Cam Rising coming back for the first time off of a torn ACL. All right.
I don't hate it. That's because that's my next play.
Okay. Go ahead. What's your next play?
So unlike you, I'm all Cam Rising. He's playing this weekend, guarantee it. And I'm taking Utah minus 5.5 at home. I just think, I mean, obviously this Utah team is decent enough to win games. They beat Florida, without him. And Cam Rising is a decent quarterback, definitely levels above what they currently have at disposal. It being at home, I think he's huge for this game. And I mean, minus 5.5. I mean, it's a weird number, but a touchdown, 2 field goals, you got it. So that's why I like the full game play as opposed to your first half play.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I mean, full game, especially if Cam Rising gets into form, I think Utah probably wins this game.
I mean, I think
on
other sites, the Utah. I mean, there's hopes that Utah's Cam Rising's playing, and Utah's up to minus 8 on other sites.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to take Utah, right now is the time to take them because I do think that if Cam Rising does, and I would say above 80% chance of playing, and if he does get officially called in, you know that people are going to start hammering Utah, and that number is going to go up. So if you like Utah, take it now. If you like UCLA, wait until that announcement comes in.
And this is all FanDuel, or at least mine are all FanDuel.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, quickly on college injury reports, there is no Adam Schefter. There is no Ian Rappaport. These schools have really no obligation to tell you anything, which I honestly prefer because they are essentially, well, kind of now amateur athletes, and we're not entitled to that information. So, but Larry hit the nail on the head. If you like Utah, take them now. If you like UCLA, I would wait. I think even if Rising is ruled out, I don't think the line moves that much off of where it's at now. I think it's pretty much priced where it should be given Rising's uncertain status. So there will be movement. It'll be a lot more if Rising's ruled in. So if you want to take the points, I would wait. It's going to be over a touchdown for sure. I'm also on a huge spread for my second one. It's going to be a much later game. It's going to be out west, though. Washington minus 20.5 at Cal. I think Washington's one of the better eye test resumes through three games in the entire country. I think Michael Penix Jr. plays after midnight a lot, and so people kind of wake up to 400 passing yards and 5 TDs and kind of just think it away somehow. Statistically, last year just insane. They were a very good team last year, and Cal, I know they scared or beat Notre Dame last year. I can't remember, but this is not going to be a situation.
That was bad Notre Dame early.
Right. Yeah. This is not. They're not going to be the September terror that they were last year, I don't think, even as they moved to the ACC for God knows why. But Washington needs style points. Like I mentioned, they play a lot of weird time slots. This one gets going at 10:30 Eastern. So, I mean, after one of the best slates in, honestly, almost 2 decades in college football, as far as ranked matchups go, this is going to be one of the last kickoffs in the whole country. So, as we all fall asleep, Michael Penix Jr. should be slinging it all over the field, and I'm pretty confident I'm going to wake up to Washington comfortably covering this number.
Love that play. It was honestly an honorable mention. I was going to take it, but I wanted to pick good games this week because, like you said, I think on paper, in the eye test, Michael Penix is arguably the best quarterback right now. He is just absolutely killing it. It's at home, and we just saw what they did to Michigan State. At Michigan State, it wasn't even close. Like, it was 35-0 at half. Like, I mean, put them in the dirt, game over, good night, whatever. But I love that play, and I would gladly tail that.
Yeah, I also like the over in that game, because I do think Cal's offense has gotten better. I don't think they're anywhere near being super competitive with Washington, but I think that they can get to 20, and then Washington gets over 40. So the over is at 59.5 right now. So I do think that I do like the over there too. But also, if you like the over, then you like Washington typically. So I like both of those plays. My second play for the slate is a two-team 6-point teaser, which I wasn't going to take my last one, but just sitting here thinking about it, I had to throw in the first half, and I'm going to double down on UCLA here in the 6-point teaser. So it's going to take them up to 11.5, and then I'm playing SMU because I'm not sold on TCU this year. I think SMU's defense is pretty solid, and TCU offense is not great, and their defense obviously is not phenomenal either. So that would be SMU up to 12.5, and then UCLA at 11.5, because I do think that the UCLA and Utah game will be close, even if Cam Rising plays. And then I just don't think TCU, unless SMU like completely folds, has enough firepower to win by 2 touchdowns or more personally. So that is my second favorite play of the slate here. All right. Who wants to start us off on their number one play of the week?
I'll go get it out of the way because it's going to be in the footsteps of Jack a little bit ago. When I saw the line for this game, I was recording a podcast with my college roommate. I'll tweet the clip under our Twitter and let you guys in on my live reaction. I could not believe my eyes. I don't know what the hell Ryan Day's done his entire coaching career at Ohio State to warrant him being a favorite in South Bend. I don't care if this is the Notre Dame team looked terrible this time last year. It's not, though. Great running game. They're always good in the trenches. They've got a much, much better quarterback, one of the better ones in the country, in Sam Hartman, whose Heisman odds sit at 10-1 right now. You can have a shadow of a doubt he's going to be in contention for that award. I would take it now because they're going to win Saturday, and you're never going to get that number again, especially if they come out on top against Southern Cal later in the season as well. This Notre Dame team, I think, is slept on just because in general, when they get near the top of the mountain, someone like Alabama or Clemson just drop kicks them off of it, which, I mean, may very well happen again, but I don't think this Ohio State team is one to do it. Kyle McCord has looked like a lot of things. The guy is not one of them. I don't think he's even the best quarterback in the Big Ten. I think that's Drew Aller at the moment. But obviously, we're going to get head-to-head matchups out of that to decide that. But J.J. McCarthy threw 3 picks against Bowling Green last week.
You're right. Okay, you're right. My bad.
Yes.
I forgot about that. You're right.
Yeah, Marcus Freeman, not a very tenured coach, very rocky start last year, but Ryan Day was born on third base, and he gets caught stealing every single year. Jim Tressel might as well come back and start handing out tattoos again, because that's what's going to take for this Ohio State team to win a title. Urban Meyer, if you hide all the female student assistants, would be a great coach for this team, because Ryan Day has accomplished nothing almost a decade, despite being given more resources than just about anybody. So, full fade Ryan. Full fade Ryan Day. Guy sucks. The team's great. It's a shame. Give me the Irish at home. I was up there last year when Clemson played them. They kicked our ass. It's a great environment. Might get a little bit of weather. It's only going to help them. So, yeah, give me the Irish outright. I'll take the 3 points, though, if some intern in Vegas is stupid enough to give it to me.
I mean, you both are taking it.
Later, you can follow it.
Yeah, you both are taking it. I'm definitely going to tail. I love it. I just didn't put it on my top 5. Just I had a feeling you guys would. So I do love the play. I mean, if you look at like position groups, Notre Dame wins in like almost everything. Offensively, they win all the positions there besides receivers. And I mean, really, if you think about it, like more so just top end receivers. But I do like that play. Jack, what's your number one play here?
My number one play, I'm going with the boys back home in Austin. I mean, they're playing at Waco this week, but I'm taking Texas minus 14.5. against Baylor. I mean, now they're playing at a sold out crowd. They got announced. But I just think Baylor's 1-2 on the season. They lost to Texas State to open the season, and then they lost a close game to Utah. Again, we just went over. Utah was at Cam Rising, not the same team. Texas is with Quinn Ewers is better than any quarterback on Utah, regardless of Quinn's struggles. And I just think on paper, Texas has so many weapons. Like on paper, and this is not just me being biased. I think Texas has one of the best rosters depth-wise in the country. Now, can they put it together for 4 quarters? Hopefully, we can put that shit together. Because last week I was having a heart attack the first half.
It was tied through 3 quarters, so you would hope conference play would elicit a better start out of that. But I think it will. So I like that one too.
I think we need to rotate our receivers more. I get Worthy, Whittington, and Worthy, Whittington, and Mitchell are our best receivers, but get Cook in there, get Isaiah in there, and we have hella depth at receiver. We have speed too. Just throw the ball. I mean, I think we figured out the first half issues. We're up touchdown at least, maybe 2, and then we finish strong. I just feel like this is money. 14.5, I think, is money line you have to take every time, especially against this Baylor team who their one win is against Long Island University, which 3 of us could beat Long Island University. So
yeah, I mean, I like it. I think 14.5. I mean, when you just look at on paper Texas versus Baylor, I get it's in Baylor against a sold out crowd, but you would think it's closer to 20. Like I feel like this should be like an Oregon Colorado line personally. So I like that play. I'm gonna go to Schittsburg for my number 1 play. They announced that Jerkovich or Jerkovich, whatever his name is, he's fucking ass. That's all I know. Man threw 3 INTs against WVU's defense, and our DBs suck. 2 of the INTs were fair catches because he overthrew the receiver so damn bad. I mean, if Beanie Bishop is picking you off, you're bad. Plain and simple. UNC only getting 7.5 is just outrageous to me. We beat this team, what was it, 17-6? And we lost our starting quarterback in like the first quarter, maybe the second. 2, we threw the ball 12 times. Maybe 14. I think Nico was 6 for 9. Nice. But I mean, Drake May, UNC, they have way more firepower than we do. Defensively, I mean, WVU's not great, but you don't have to be great when this guy is playing quarterback. Like Beanie Bishop said after the game, they knew that he sucked at his job before they came into the game, and it's just same thing. Coming in with a better team, and they're only getting a touchdown and a hook. It has to be a trap line. I don't understand. I know it's in Pittsburgh, but they never sell out crowds, so it doesn't matter to me. 7.5 feels like a layup. I'm actually going to make this a 1.5 unit play like I did WVU money line last week. So that's my top play of the week.
Again, to tell that, don't hate it. Also was on a list I was thinking about. Eat shit Pitt, right? Am I right? I mean, UNC at minus 7.5, I feel like is an absolute steal. I mean, UNC, if your name's not App State, UNC balls out. So, I mean, 7.5, I feel like Drake May is throwing all over Pitt. I mean, Pitt can only score 6 against, as Larry says, a shit WVU defense. I don't care how shit UNC's defense is. Drake May has got to single-handedly cover the 7.5 with his arm and his legs by himself. So, love that. Probably will tell too.
All right, there you have it. There's our top 5 plays each. We had a lot of overlap. We have a little bit of battle going on. Grayson versus Jack in the Ole Miss Alabama game, and me and Jack in the Colorado-Oregon game. Jack's looking for fun, and I'm looking for some boring football. So